Jenny Jones.
My mom's rhubarb patch. It's dormant now, but ever since it received live nationwide TV coverage on the home show, this little patch has become one of North Dakota's top tourist attractions. My mom is getting a little tired of answering the question, so what is Gary Collins really like? But other than that, my family and I really haven't minded all the extra attention. It did get to be a problem when a lot of the tourists wanted to bring home just a little souvenir. But that sign took care of that. You know, I'm always trying to top myself here on my craft show. I brought this dress home with me here to North Dakota, all the way from New York, in hopes of doing a very special segment featuring my dad. When I approached him with the idea, I secretly had a video camera recording. Listen. I have a special scene for you to do on my craft show.
Huh?
I need you to do a special little scene on my craft show.
What's this color?
Okay, I'm going to say a question that fans often ask me is, how does your dad feel about you wearing a dress on TV? And I'll say, well, let's find out and ask him. And then it'll cut to you, and you'll be getting down off the tractor, and you'll be wearing a dress.
I'm not going to wear a dress.
And you'll just make some general statement. You won't acknowledge that you're wearing a dress. You'll just make a general statement about, I enjoy my craft show very much, and I wouldn't change anything about it.
Well, you can say dress. What dress? Doesn't everybody
I'm
wear
not
dress?
going to wear a dress.
Why?
No way.
Why?
No, I'm never had a dress on in my
We'll
life.
get you through our
No way. I'll just give my comments about the craft show, but I want a dark dress. It don't have to be that dramatic.
Oh no, it'll be so funny. It'll
I'll
be
just
so...
have my, no,
What, you could do it for Halloween.
no, I refuse for that. I'm not going to be on TV with a dress on, no. All my relatives just, no way.
I would do it, James, and I'd say
No
dress.
way.
I would say dress. What dress?
You just have to have a sense of humor about it.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I don't.
We all wear dresses in North Dakota.
No baloney. No men wear dresses in North Dakota. You know that.
Well, that's why it'd be so funny. It's such a shock.
Yeah, it would be a shock, but I'll be on your craft show, but I want to do that.
We could dress up in that green last year.
But it's so nice. It's such a nice color.
Oh, it's not nice.
It'll look good on you.
It's not fine on a woman. On a woman, it's fine. Not on me. No.
Oh.
Not something I refuse to do. I will not be on your
You'll
tape.
have to get somebody.
I will not be on your tape in a dress. No. It's only in New York City you can get that to do that.
Oh well. I tried. Maybe you remember the episode of my craft show where a friend of mine told a story about running into the original little boy from the Partridge Family at an audition.
I went on this audition that was downtown in Soho, and there was a sign-up sheet for all the people who wanted to be in the movie, and the name right before the last blank spot to sign up was Jeremy Gelbwax. And when I saw the name, I immediately knew that was the kid that had been on the Partridge Family for the first season. He might have even been the second season, but then they changed actors.
I offered an open invitation to Jeremy to come on my show as a guest. This is a plea to anyone who knows him, or if he's watching or hears about this, please contact me. We waited to hear from him and started to get discouraged. Jeremy never called. You know, I was hoping he would have his people call my people, and we would, you know, get together and he could be on my show. But it's been a couple months now, and he still hasn't called. I'll be that way. Well, I have another update for you. I recently received this letter from a casting director telling me that he ran across Jeremy's picture and resume in his files. Do you think you'd recognize him? Jeremy is obviously very proud of his work on the Partridge Family. It's the first thing he lists on his resume. It also says that he worked the family dairy and sheep farm for 4 years. Obviously, his career isn't exactly booming. You would think that Shirley Jones could help him out a bit, open a few doors, introduce him around. Or Susan Day should at least be able to get him a little extra work on LA Law. Well, I really did appreciate receiving the picture and resume, and I wish Jeremy the best. But of course, I won't be completely satisfied till Jeremy is sitting right here beside me, and I can ask him myself, why did you leave the Partridge Family? Why were you replaced by another actor? Was Suzanne Cruz on drugs? And if they do a Partridge Family reunion, who will get to play the part of Chris? I think you know who I'd vote for. Today, I'm invited to Mayville State University to talk to the speech class about my acting career in New York. I've never done anything like this before, and I'm a bit nervous. And come on, we'll see how it goes.
Okay. What we're going to do today then is, this is kind of impromptu, but I mean, kind of put this together because I didn't know Mark was in town, and I ran into him in the weight room here a week or so ago and asked if he'd be interested in talking in class, and then didn't see him, I guess, again for another week, and now it turns out he has to fly back to New York tomorrow, so we kind of rushed into this. I'm a little unprepared, bear with him because this is maybe not brand new to him, but he wasn't planning on doing this either. So we're having an opportunity today. I want to introduce something to you. Mark Heskin is his name. He was born in Mayville. He lived in Portland proper, the big city, for about 6 years, and then he's lived on a farm until he graduated from Mayport High School in 1978. Whence he moved to New York City, and in New York City he started working in soap operas in 1979. So since then he's done roughly 400 and some episodes of soaps like Guiding Life, One Life to Live, All My Children, and the new one is Loving. So he's been involved in those now for umpteen years and starting to feel old like myself. I guess without much more to say, because Mark wants to give you some information about himself, and he's got some tapes of things he's been doing, and he's going to give you a chance, if you wish, to ask a lot of questions about who's really a bitch on TV and who's really whatever. So, class, this is Mark Heskin. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks. Thank you. I've been doing this in New York for 12 years, but I've never been asked to make a presentation like this. This is very exciting for me, and I'm very honored to be here. And as I was planning the things I wanted to say, I was afraid it would sound like I'm going to be bragging or showing off, but I am very proud of some of the things I've done and very excited about it. So if it sounds like I'm bragging, I apologize in advance. But the things I've done are something any of you can do, and I'm going to tell you today how you can do it from my experience. I graduated in 1978, and I think, like, my dad wanted me to be a farmer, but I wanted to be a movie star instead. So I moved to New York, and how I got to New York is I lined up a job through an agency where you're like a nanny, or you babysit. That's how you get to New York if you're in North Dakota. That's how I recommend it. The family flies you out, you live with them, and you get paid every week. And that's other than that, how do you get to New York if you don't know anyone? So I was always very interested in soap operas when I was growing up. So after I got to New York, I started to pursue acting. And this is my very first picture. If I can, you can see how I've aged. This is like a long time ago. And so I started to pursue soap operas. And each soap opera has two casting directors. One who does the major parts, and then one who does like the little parts, the extra work, or the little parts like I do. So I thought I had a better chance getting a little part, so I started to gear towards that. And instead of just sending pictures and doing what everyone else did to catch the casting director's attention, I started to do creative things to catch their attention. Like one of my famous things, I put a little picture of me on a bar of soap, and then I wrote, "Put Mark on your soap." And so it was my picture and my phone number, all of it on a bar of soap. And some people look at things like that as being very unprofessional, but if they get 100 of these a day, but one bar of soap, I tried to do different things. Another one I did, which kind of helped get my first part, I created a front of a newspaper, and it said, "Cast Mark as an extra, and I know Ryan's Hope, the first show I was on, liked that one. So after doing this for a few months, I had a couple interviews, and finally, this is in December of 1979, I made my debut on Ryan's Hope, my very first soap opera, and I'm a waiter. This is me here pouring coffee. And most of you are probably too young to remember this, but we didn't always have VCRs. And in these days, if you needed to capture a moment on TV, you couldn't record it. You had to take a picture of the TV. So this is all I have of my performance on Ryan's Hope. And along with that, it was very exciting. It got very exciting. And I got my very first newspaper article. This is from one of my favorite articles from the Sunday entertainment section of the Fargo Forum. I love this headline, "New York youngster tricking his way into TV soaps." I thought that was cute. And then, that was in December of '79, and I continued to send cutesy things and pursue it, but I didn't get another job until almost a year later, in November, when I was an extra on Guiding Light. And then, a month later, I got my first speaking part on All My Children. I was a little guy, I was in a wheelchair, and here's Mark Heskin casting All My Children. And that was, all hell broke loose again, and I got that part. It was very exciting. And then I started to pursue also like movies. And my very first movie was Sophie's Choice. This is my scrapbook. With Meryl Streep. So I'd never been in a movie before, so that was very exciting. I didn't get my picture taken with Meryl Streep, but this is Meryl Streep's chair here. So it says Meryl Streep on it. And I was a policeman. The scene where Sophie and Kevin Kline, there they are, commit suicide. And I was just outside their house, guarding their house outside the police barrier. And then I went to see the movie, and you don't see me. So even though it was my first movie, a lot of times, you're in it and it's not on, you don't get seen when there's so many people, so you never saw me in that. And one of my favorite movies that I worked in, I'll get back to soap operas in a minute, but I wanted to talk about movies a little. Besides enjoying acting, I'm also very interested in the behind-the-scenes stuff, to see how they put a movie or a soap opera together, and see the special effects and what's going on. And that's a lot of fun. So when I got called to work in the Muppet movie, the Muppets Take Manhattan, not only was it fun to see how they put the movie together, but then to see how they worked the Muppets. And that was one of my first movie jobs, and just so exciting because I was a fan she thinks Kermit is having an affair with this other woman, so she's like spying on him. She's dressed like a private eye, and she's sneaking around. And something real interesting that day, they needed a scene where Miss Piggy crossed the street. So they had a little girl dressed up in an actual Miss Piggy outfit, and for the scene where you'd actually see her running across the street. And I just thought that was very interesting. Although the little girl was still like double the size of the actual Miss Piggy puppet. And when I went to see the movie, they cut out, they must not have liked the way it looked either, because it was out of proportion. So you never actually saw the clip where they had the little girl running. And here I am, I got my picture taken with Miss Piggy. And there's Jim Henson there now, this guy who, he lays like on this thing, and he has like a TV where he can see what he's doing up here. And he actually ran Kermit. He is the Kermit, and I can show you all this later. So those are a few of the first movies that I worked in.
How much different did the start work?
Oh,
Not small.
the girls are they're just tiny. They're just these little girls. And when they come in the morning, they don't look, they put makeup.
Makes you guys feel a little better, huh?
Yeah, makeup does a lot. They come in and they're just all white in the afternoon. They're like, yeah. And I play a prison guard a lot on different shows. I keep getting cast as prison guard, which I always make jokes about. Is I look like a prison guard. I can look intimidating, but as soon as I open my voice, I talk like this, and I don't think I sound like a prison guard, but I keep getting these prison guard parts. But the quality is very bad.
Which one you using this restaurant? What? You could come with me, please. We need to answer your
From
question.
London. I play this one again.
He will always act in his own interest.
Excuse me? Which one you using this restaurant? What? You could come with me, please. We need to answer your question.
And here I am, just standing there. That's what I normally do, it's just stand around in the background. And
Release. And that's Jake's testimony. He knows I didn't kill Jock in cold blood.
If you want to stay here, you're going to have to sit down.
I didn't kill Jock in cold blood.
If you want to stay here, you're going to have to sit down.
whoa. Well, it's a relief to have that over.
Yeah.
See, now that's what I like about New York, though. People have extended families, you know?
Yeah.
It's like people are just together, you know?
Yeah, I like that.
I do too. I really, really do. Yeah.
We gather together to ask the Lord's blessings. He chastens and hastens His will to make known the wicked oppressing. Now cease from distressing. Sing praises to His name, who forgets not His own. Beside us to guide us, our God with us joining, ordaining, maintaining His kingdom divine. So from the beginning, the fight we were winning. The Lord was at our side, all glory be thine. We all who extol Thee, the leader triumphant, and pray that Thou still our defender will be. Let Thy congregation escape tribulation. Thy name be ever praised. O Lord, make us free. The Lord is our shepherd. He will not forsake us. His will shall be done on the sea and the land. Thou enemies rend us. We go where He doth send us, and glory in His ways, for we dwell in His hand. We sit at the table and take of His bounty, and thank the good Lord for His mercy and grace. Then join we in chorus, for what He sets before us, our voices raised on high, with thanks to the Lord. Our voices raised on high, with thanks to the Lord.
Thanksgiving was very special this year. It was the first time I'd ever used my grandma's dishes, silverware, and tablecloth. It was also the first time there had ever been 12 of us in my apartment for dinner. Whenever I host Thanksgiving in my apartment, I always give my guests the assignment of making a list of 10 things that they're thankful for. I feel that sometimes we forget what the holiday is all about. I don't make them show the list to anyone, and we don't critique them here on my craft show. But I feel it's important to take the time to count your blessings. Recently, a fan wrote me a letter about something that he's very thankful for. It was just about a year ago when I was riding my bike down Fifth Avenue, minding my own business on a clear and sunny day at a time when there was very little traffic. There was a bus behind me. Within seconds of spotting it, the bus hit me. I went 60 feet through the air before landing in the street, unconscious. My bike was totaled, and I was momentarily paralyzed. But thanks to my helmet, I survived and had no permanent injuries. Perhaps you would like to see my helmet, which was split into 6 pieces by the impact. My helmet took the beating. Had it been my skull instead, my brains would have been on the asphalt. This viewer had seen episodes of my craft show where I was riding my bike without a helmet. So the point of the letter was to convince me to start to wear one. So as you can see, it worked. So thanks, Maurice.